Looks the same for Trey Smith because that franchise tag for offensive lineman is well above $20 million per year. It's really uncertain whether the Chiefs can handle that. They're already pretty salary cap strapped. They got several players to pay, and he is the top player on the market if he gets there. He could likely reset the guard market over $20 million per year potentially. A lot of teams around the league I'm talking to are linking the Chicago Bears to him because of Ryan Poles. He's the GM who was with the Kansas City Chiefs when they drafted Trey Smith 4 years ago. They need interior line help. Makes a lot of sense.
And one missed game over 4 seasons for Smith, 5,000 snaps in that time. That's 600 more than the next closest player in that class. However, O-line is a chief concern in KC. Patrick Mahomes' average time to throw just 2.8 seconds 2024. That's the shortest of his career. Also sacked 47 times, 10 more than any other season. The 6 sacks he took in Super Bowl 59 were career high. Not the type of career high you want in that game. And all very related news, Mahomes posted a career worst 67 QBR. Marcus, given the issues we saw from KC last season, how important is it for Kansas City to try to keep Smith?
Very important. I mean, we saw Milton Williams and Jalen Carter in the Super Bowl have their way. And I'm not casting that aspersion on Trey Smith, who's been phenomenal for the Kansas City Chiefs. But solidifying this offensive line is probably going to be priority number one while Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback. And we know why. But when you think about Trey Smith and you think about guards, and this is why I love the offseason, one of my favorite times of the year to talk football, is you don't miss guards until you don't have one. And your quarterback getting his head bashed in for majority of the game. So I know this is going to be difficult for the Kansas City Chiefs. You just alluded to it again, Phil, with the money that they have to pay players. They got to figure out cap structure. This is Veach. This is one of Veach's most important decisions that he's going to make. Now, the other side of that is you get very optimistic about guard play throughout the draft and potentially bringing a guy in that doesn't have the cachet as Trey Smith, i.e. we saw Mekhi Becton turn into a Pro Bowl guard this year without even playing the position. But Trey Smith market will be crazy. But more importantly, Kansas City needs to do everything they can to keep him off of it. I just don't know if they can.
Yeah, you're totally right. I think for Kansas City, some of this actually has to do with their evaluation of the rookie offensive lineman, the tackle they took last year, Kingsley Suamataia, who seemed like they started too quickly. They pulled back. And I bring that up, Marcus, because they got 2 questions on the offensive line, right? Left tackle, we saw that certainly in the Super Bowl, and then guard. And there's only so much money to solve both of those problems. But if you feel like Suamataia, and maybe you like some of the cheaper tackles, maybe then you can afford Trey Smith or at least try to keep him. The problem, and you alluded to this, is I just believe there's going to be such a robust market for his services. Jeremy mentioned the Bears, who jumped to mind as an obvious team. I'll name a couple of others. In their own division, the Minnesota Vikings, major interior offensive line need. The LA, and if they stick with JJ McCarthy, they're going to have money. The LA Chargers, again, a major issue on the interior of the offensive line, and we know Jim Harbaugh really prioritizes that position group. So, you know, Trey Smith is an amazing player. You come out of the Super Bowl thinking we got to deal with the offensive line, but you're not negotiating against yourself. Once, if you don't tag him, you're negotiating against the rest of the league, and they might drive the price up too high for Kansas City.
And MK, the rest of the league is salivating. And you and I both know that. Here's the other important part of that too, MK. And we talk about it, and you hear me talk about it, whether it's big man balling or we talk about defensive lines. I think interior pressure has become more important than outside. You know, when I played in the league, defensive ends were the guys, right? If you didn't have those, you couldn't rush the passer. Now we're starting to see 3 techniques. These interior guys become the catalyst for causing problems against these quarterbacks that are so prolific. And we asking ends pretty much to force them into the interior of the pocket so these guys can win those one-on-ones. The league has sort of transitioned in that way. And that's why you see these guard prices start to skyrocket. You see these defensive interior prices start to skyrocket. So it'll be interesting to see the decision that Kansas City makes, especially with a $500 million quarterback behind those guards.
And the Eagles were indiscriminate in the Super Bowl. In fact, it was an issue in both the Chiefs' Super Bowl losses. Pressure on Mahomes, issue all of last season, pressured on 227 dropbacks. That was tied for the most in the NFL with Caleb Williams.
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just want to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.